Oh, that's where I was going.
I know you're disappointed, but
Well, hello, you've joined us. England 2, Germany 0. There was a little girl crying. It had everything, really, didn't it?
Everything.
Welcome back to the Roaring Bulldog podcast. My name's Adonis, and you know me as at the Adelites on Twitter. It's a very good hello from me, and joining us is Sam Ward at Sam Ward LUFC.
Good evening, everyone.
Machiavelli, Ewan Metcalf.
I'm back, baby. The dream team is back.
Yeah, baby.
Me, Wardy, and Adonis is the dream team.
Yeah.
Sorry, the rest of you.
Yeah,
sorry,
the rest of your shit.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's been a hot minute. So thanks for bearing with us while we dust off the rust. First thoughts then. England 2, Germany 0. The Warden of the North.
Oh, brilliant, wasn't it? To be honest, I wasn't expecting that. I'm not going to lie. I wasn't up for it. I was up for it, but I just didn't think that performance would come out. And yeah, it was absolutely brilliant. I mean, for me, just being able to watch it in a pub with an atmosphere full of people sat outside in the sun, because when we had that nice run in the World Cup a few years ago, I was in Australia. I was in the middle of nowhere on a farm, getting up at daft times on some sketchy 4G network. I didn't get any atmosphere. I didn't get any sort of fun watching it out on the piss in the sun. So for me, just that part of it was absolutely brilliant, and to be able to do that again, and the performance was absolutely brilliant. You know, he's kept the faith with Kane and Sterling. And they really have repaid him. I thought Sterling was excellent. I thought everyone was excellent. I thought we defended really well. And it's just even better. It's against the Germans, isn't it? It's the sort of performance you want against that team. Gutsy, just really good defensive, really good going forward. Southgate, I think, tactically got it spot on. And I think now people have to get off his back, me included. I'm not going to lie. Been said negative things about him recently. And I take it all back because
it's a counselling session now.
It's been a while. I've not been on here in a while. I've got to let it all out. But no, I mean, look, I think he's proving people wrong, Southgate. I think he has done that, and I think the criticism needs to lay off a bit now, because I think he's more than proved his worth and how good he is.
Big Mac.
You haven't split with your missus again, have you, Sam?
No, not yet. Maybe if we get to the final.
Yeah, you've been out to a bit too much. I'm similar to Sam. I mean, I can't say I've never slagged Southgate off, other than not picking Bamford, which was a bit of tongue in cheek. I don't think it's not exciting, is it? It's not an easy watch. There's a lot of times where I was frustrated, so I'm going to come at from the other angle where, let's take, for instance, great example, Sterling's back pass that nearly cost us a goal. We're in the last third of the fucking field. What's he passing it 60 yards back to? That kind of mentality. Just I can't ride it. There's times where, just play the obvious pass into space. Phillips 2 or 3 times yesterday in really good space on the right, and then I can't remember if it was Walker or Saka out on the right, further beyond, in more and more space. And they seem reluctant to play those obvious, slightly risky, through people. But you should be able to do that as a professional football player for England. But listen, the result itself, fantastic. I mean, I've watched World Cup since 1982 was the first one. I remember 78 because I knocked a tea tray over when Argentina scored, believe it or not. My dad had just put down a tea tray. It was Sunday, I think, the final. I lived in a house in Seacroft, and my dad put this tea tray down, and I wanted Argentina to win. It was the ticker tape final against Holland, if you remember. And then when they scored, I think it was Kempes, I stood up and knocked this tea tray all over. So I've got like an ever literally burned on my memory of that. I was supporting Argentina. I remember Scotland vaguely, but that was about it. The first World Cup I have a memory of supporting England and getting behind England and being disappointed was 82. Keegan's missed had a very different format then. So to have all those tournaments in between where Germany have been like the nemesis, the enemy, as it were, metaphorically speaking, to go and get a result against them, and a great result, to beat them 2-0 clean sheet. I thought we limited them to very few very good chances. The one from Werner, the strike from Havertz, and of course the one that Muller should have put away. To keep Germany down to those kind of chances, I'll be honest. I think an average Germany, some of the better players are past the best. Kroos and people like that. Centre half, I can't remember his name. Hummels, yeah. Even Neuer, I think, maybe possibly. But yeah, I think what a great result. And I was so happy. I watched it with my dad, and I rarely watch football with my dad. He's a Newcastle fan. I'm a Leeds fan. He's not big on England. I struggle with England a little bit, as I've said. But, to get when we scored, the whole, we watched it at home with my boys as well. And my boys went up the wall. They love Harry Kane. When he scored, they loved it. But I think there's some people who haven't been given the right respect. You mentioned Southgate. I think, I think he's got a game plan. I said it to you before. I think the game plan is don't let people score against you. Start with a clean sheet. It's a bit George Graham-esque. We all know as Leeds fans what that was like. Winning games, but it was bloody dull to watch. And it was all about restricting them chances, keeping your shape, being very controlled, not taking many risks, resetting all the time at every set piece, resetting and making sure you've got a security blanket and everybody's in the right position. It's not exciting to watch, but if it gets us to a World Cup final, we win it. And I'm not looking too far ahead. I think there's a lot of challenges ahead. Let's go for it, because we aren't going to outplay Belgium, are we? We're not going to play football around Belgium. We're not going to play football around some of the better teams.
I'm feeling it. Am I a head and shoulders above you guys?
In height?
On the screen. It looks weird. Does it look weird?
I'll move it.
Looks a bit weird to me.
There you go.
Yeah, that shot, I don't know who it was from. Havertz, was it? Of Werner. That what a save. That was from, because he's cracked that, hasn't he? He couldn't hit it harder, he couldn't hit it sweeter, and
it's sweet.
It was lucky he was down the middle of the goal, but even then he did well to knock it over. I think the thing is, we've had players for years, great players who play better for the club than they do for the country. If you look at Grant Xhaka and Pogba, they're the opposite out there. They play miles better for the country than they play for the club. We're now getting players like Pickford. You could say Sterling. Definitely not Kane, because he definitely plays better for Tottenham. But I feel a bit sorry for him because he don't get any service. That system, he gets so little to play with. But I think we're getting players now who are better, much better for the club than they are. For the country than they are for their club. I thought Maguire was really good. The whole team, Stones. I thought Phillips, but I'm going to be biased. It was cracking. I always love watching him play. It's not easy for him in that role where Rice is taking some of those spaces. He's naturally wanting to go and work him, but a couple of them where he clouted people and he's the one who does look to play that expansive pass when it's on, doesn't he, without taking risks. And
everyone was calling for Grealish before the game, during the game, as he was warming up. Every time he came on the big screen. And he really did change it, didn't he? Like Saka's had great moments of sort of getting us out, because we do play quite low, so we do need to have that out ball, don't we? But I thought what we've needed is the creativity. You touched on it, Ewan, is like not being able to get those balls into Kane, so to speak.
Well, if you look at we've all wanted to get our balls into Kane. England. Last World Cup, come on, we all wanted a bit of that.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But I think Kane, if you look at Kane, he didn't look interested for 70 minutes. Grealish comes on, he woke up. It's almost like he's now expecting to get the passes he wants. And you know what? Grealish didn't do anything magical last night like he sometimes does. He played the obvious pass around the box into people in space. That's how Shaw got that ball. He can cross a ball lovely, but he got the first time he got a bit of space because Grealish played the easy pass quickly. That's the thing with England, it's the quickness. It's not if that's their tempo, if that's their style, fair enough. But sometimes you've got to move that ball around quicker.
I think that's something that Grealish does really well, actually, isn't it? The pace that he hits the ball, and it's always his decision making spot on. So just to have that option, and like you said, for that cross for Kane, it was brilliant because he just hit that perfect speed, and it was brilliant. And he did change it, but I don't think we did that much different. I feel like we just got it out to him, still what we're doing on the left, and he just worked the ball well. But we just carried on playing. He stuck to his guns, this Southgate, and it bloody paid off in the end.
Couple of comments then. Lee Smith, stuck in sunny Spain, could be amazing if they reach the final against us. Mexico 86, my first, I remember. Very happy to see Koch is having a nice break before pre-season.
Nice holiday.
Barney, who can't be with us, Germany aren't the team of the past, but our defence is immense. The Pirlo factor.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Pirlo then. 11 ball recoveries, the most since Tony Adams against Germany in 1996. I mean, the best player on the pitch every time. We are biased that way.
But I think in the job that he does, he's a leader. He leads by example. His work rate's ridiculous. I mean, I saw some of those recoveries, but also the sprints and the running that he did and the work that he did. And do you know what? Sometimes that tackle he did on Havertz out on the touchline where he got the ball and he'd already been booked, so he had to get that absolutely bang on. And that one that he got booked for was a little bit naughty, wasn't it? But sometimes they change the course of a game. They knock the stuffing out of another team when you see someone just get levelled like Havertz did, Yeah. And you saw the way Phillips was proud of that when he ran away. He was trying to be all over.
Yeah, that's just me. Every week, mate, like.
Yeah, my little dolly haircut, running away with my little hair bounce.
I didn't do anything, ref.
Yeah, I never touched him. Ref got the ball. Ref. He loved that. He proper loved it, and I loved it. I was like, get him.
I did. You see, Shaw straight after was giving him a high five. He just got right in his face. He was like, "Fucking get it!" It just lifts everyone's tackles like that. You can see the crowd and hear the crowd as soon as he did that. And having a crowd was a huge factor. And I think people like Calvin Phillips definitely get the crowd on the side and get you going, especially with them hard tackles. Like you
saw Cruz. I mean, the dust hadn't settled on that game. He'd retired.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
Yeah. Again. Fuck that. Yeah, he's really great, and he does it very subtly, and he is a very different role to what he plays for Leeds. So he's not just replicating what he does. What we know he does well, week in, week out. Very different, and he's just ace, isn't he? He just rarely gets caught out of position. When he does, he works his bollocks off to get back, and he's such a great. I can't remember who it was. It was like shots fired. Well, I think it was Tony Adams put a tweet and said if only he'd had that screen of like Rice and Phillips in his England career, then they probably would have got more clean sheets and maybe gone on and won something. So every great thing is built on ace foundations, and I think with the back 4, 5 they've got 6 last night, whatever, and them 2, you're not going to concede many goals, are you?
No.
There you go. No. Congratulations to Calvin and Declan, who put up a fantastic wall of defence today and enabled us to keep another clean sheet. Wish I had that screen in '96. And he's had his fair share of praise from Michael Bolsack and a few others.
Yeah.
I think people are at the start. If you said that Phillips was going to be this good, I think people would have said you were lying. And it's just, I don't think if you can't see by now that how quality he is and how much he helps us win the ball higher up the pitch, everything he does, his energy. If you can't see that by now and you're still skeptical about him, I'm sorry, you don't know what you're on about. It's so obvious what he does, and the reason we hardly concede any more goals, I dare say, is because of him as well as Rice. But them two working together is brilliant. And look at that start.
That's the start. Have a guess who was coached by Bielsa. I think somebody said
that. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's double. And I think I tweeted out, imagine if Harrison had been in the squad. Imagine if Luke Ayling had been there. Because Walker hasn't impressed that much at right back. I thought Trippier did well until he came off, but yeah, I think very unlucky for Luke Ayling to miss out and Jack Harrison. And I think we'd be cruising to the final if we had them.
Well, and Bamford. I mean, you saw how the way Harry Kane was closing down. He's so lethargic, and I'm not going to slack. He's a really great player. I really like him, and I think he's a great fella. Just like Southgate, whatever you think of him as a coach, he's a lovely fella. Some of his interviews are absolutely brilliant. They're not sort of saber rattling, let's get the cavalry charging kind of speeches, but they're very emotive and they're really genuine. So I think it's the same with Kane. So I'm not a hater of him, but the way he closes down is so lethargic. I mean, my little 12-year-old who's a good footballer, plays up front, absolutely full of energy. Definitely takes his lead from Bielsa's front man closing down, start at the front mentality. He was like, look at Kane, look how slow he's shutting down. What's he doing? He's like jogging between two. Whereas I think Bamford would be rattling people. He'd be constantly at it, wouldn't he? And I don't want to get too Leedsy about because I do, my feelings about England. I do want them to do well. it's always been club before country for me. But you know, I love watching the international team, and I want them to do well. But there's just times where it's a bit slow, it's a bit lethargic, it's a bit deliberate, and you know, for the fact that there's a bit more Leeds influence in there, it wouldn't be that. It would be very much, it'd be very different. We'd probably go out with, you know, gung ho losing 3-2 to bloody Germany, but it'd be a bit more exciting. So, what do you pick?
Yeah,
someone who's come under a lot of stick from us is Jack Grealish. Have we changed our
Never
opinion?
said a bad word against him there. I don't know about I always loved him. Stares on his feet brilliantly. I
think it was, you know, in the Championship, he was falling over a lot, and especially in the Championship, that isn't really a league that rewards diving.
Yeah.
So I think he's much more. He's done much better in the Premier League, but he's also cut that aspect of his game out a little bit more. But also, he's now playing for a team that we support.
Yeah,
and I
think he comes across quite well in interviews. Like, he's quite funny. He's got a bit of banter about him. He takes it all like fairly well. So we've changed our opinion now.
I still think he's a diving little trap, but I think he's a skillful one. And you know what? You do see how good he is when he's on and what he can do. And I watched a little compilation of his passes and goals and stuff last season, and he's such a brilliant player. And if he's rumoured 100 million, if that's what he's actually worth, wow, that's a lot of money. Too much for me, but he is a brilliant player. But there's no denying he's still.
Do you not have a spare 100 million, Sam?
No, not unfortunately, don't, mate. No.
I've got into the podcast business with the wrong people.
I know, yeah. Maybe
farmers at B-Dale are loaded, mate. He's got.
I know.
Let me tell you that.
He's buried in the garden, mate. That's all it is.
No, I've not really changed my opinion of Grealish because I think you hit the nail on the head. He's playing for England, so you want it. You know, you're behind him. I'll hate him again as soon as he kicks off the Villa and we're playing him and he's diving about and you know, asking the ref for everything. Then I'll probably dislike him equally. I can take that hat on and off. To be honest, I like him for the next couple of weeks, and that's it.
We're fickle bunch of football fans, aren't we?
Yeah. Very fickle, very shallow.
Yeah.
Colin, he was very different versus Germany than he was against Scotland. And Lee, love him for England. That's it. And while we're on the subject of changing our opinion, Oscar asks Declan Rice, ?
I just think he's limited. You know, listen, I can see what he does for West Ham. He's done it twice to us last season. I mean, he bossed the midfield. For England, it's that same. It's just me. It's my opinion. I don't think we need those two people in there. I think either of them would probably be good enough to do it on their own. So I don't think Phillips is necessarily helping Declan Rice's game, and I don't think Declan Rice is definitely not helping KP's game. But again, I think he's a great lad, and you know he obviously works hard. And he wants to do right. There's times when he powers forward with the ball, where he's just knocking people, you know, sort of powering through gaps and like being really strong on the ball. He did it a few times yesterday. You can definitely see his worth, but it's the system that they're playing in doesn't necessarily accentuate either of their football talents. So a bit like KP, you know, there'll be people who dislike or saying he's not good enough, which, as you said, Sam, is a complete myth. But that's probably a bit like us with Grealish, that it's a bit biased against Leeds or anti-Leeds stuff, whatever you want to call it. I like West Ham. I've got nothing against West Ham. I just think that the system doesn't allow them to sort of show off or look flamboyant or really dominate a game, because both of them are doing kind of like one job. So, I think it's great. I haven't got any problem with either of them. Like I say, I haven't conceded a goal in 4 games against Croatia, Czech Republic, Scotland, fair enough. You should probably keep a clean sheet against Scotland, to be fair.
I thought we lost that.
We lost that one, didn't we?
Yeah. And I was about to say after we beat Germany, now I know how Scottish fans felt when they drew 0-0 with us.
Yeah. Their cup final in it. So
sliding on the knees.
Yeah.
They had the day in the sun, didn't they? They've gone home now, back to Scotland. But it's funny because I had a guy at the house today, Scottish guy, and I said, I bet Scotland's in mourning today, isn't it? And he said, no, there's quite a lot of people wanted Germany to get a dick in, so they're not all anti-England, but
no.
I think they've kept clean sheets with that format and beating a decent Germany team. Czech Republic are obviously no mugs. Kept a clean sheet against them and beat them. We can't complain, can we?
No, well, that's the bottom line. It's working. So regardless of what we think and our opinions on players, it's working. It's maybe not the most beautiful thing to look at, but it's working. We're keeping clean sheets, and you tend to see the more defensive teams go on and win tournaments internationally anyway.
Yeah.
So look, if it wins us a tournament, brilliant. I can sit and watch it for another week or two. I've sort of got used to it now. At first, I was like, what on earth is this? But you just need to take yourself away from it and think, after this, it's back to Bielsa ball and it'll be brilliant again. And it's only another 2 years. But look, it's different to what we're used to. But if it works, it works. And it's not like, say, if Leeds was stuck with Warnock or something, and you have to try and like that. It's like, this is, it's a national team, and we only have to watch it for a month or so. And if it works, it works. That's the bottom line, really, isn't it? And he knows what he's doing. He's not daft, is he?
Yeah,
I do think it's worked well, and when I play football, when I play five-a-side, I do like to be like, if we're in a tournament, I like to be very conservative, like, just sit all the players back and you just have 2 players break, basically, or 3 maximum in five-a-side. And so I can understand that mentality of setting up to be very, very hard to beat and just hitting on the counter, because that's probably how I'd play myself.
Yeah.
If I had to manage or if I had to play, that's probably how I'd prefer to do it.
So I play FIFA.
Right. But when you watch Bielsa ball, it's something different. Then your expectations are so much higher, and you see the sport as an entertainment, and not as not as the end game of being, we have to win, but rather we have to be entertaining. And I mean, like you guys said, it's only another 2 more weeks of it. And if we win, if we do go for 2 weeks and we win it,
absolutely fine.
As I say, I've waited nearly 40 years to watch England win something, right?
Yeah.
Italian 90, 96, Euro 96, bar that, we've rarely got that close, to be honest. The World Cup last year, 2018, the last World Cup, was obviously the other one I can think of. But you kind of always, that gung-ho style sort of gets you so far. I mean, you look at that Germany game. Let's look at Euro 96, the last time we got close. We dominated Germany that game. We were so lucky, hit the post. Gazza's studs missing that ball. We played really great, expansive football. Lovely to watch. You kind of thought, we deserve it. That's the thing that kills you in those tournaments where you get knocked out. You think, we deserved to win that. We were brilliant. Germany kind of methodically, the Mannschaft, the way that they sort of just grind it out and always manage to get that goal or that golden goal or the penalties, whatever. We're in a position now where you feel a bit like we've reversed roles a bit. I mean, I wouldn't say we didn't deserve to win yesterday. I thought we probably were slightly the better team. It was pretty tight. So for all that gung-ho, the memories of how great we were, the whole country getting behind, Euro 96 team and Italian 90 team and Gascoigne tears, and it's never got us anywhere in regards of winning anything. And ultimately, nobody cares who came third or fourth or got knocked out in a semi. It's who wins it usually that people remember. So I'm all for that. If it does work, great. If it doesn't, will we have to go back to the drawing board? Will we just build on it? I think if we had, you look at people like Sancho and you look at people like Saka and others that are coming through now, younger lads, Bellingham and so on. If we have slightly, I don't want to say better because that's disrespecting some of the guys, brilliant guys we've already got, better players at playing that way. So that 3 or 4 break, like you said, Donny, that can really go and tear teams apart. I think we will have a foundation to build on for the future rather than this constantly going back to the drawing board, which is irritating. The thing about Leeds, watching Leeds, is it is hell-raising, isn't it? That we talk about the risk and the peril. It's right up there, whereas I haven't felt particularly nervous watching England. So we accept that, like you said, Donny, we've accepted that you've got to take some risks to be entertaining, and we're great to watch. But sometimes we've come undone with it, haven't we? We haven't got the rewards that we've often deserved.
Yeah.
But we wouldn't swap it now. But let's be frank, if we were getting beat every week or if we were losing 3-2, Bielsa wouldn't be in a job for long and we wouldn't put up with it. It's just because it's working at the moment. And It is very risky, and I think you do get away with it at international level. Rarely. I mean, I couldn't believe that Muller miss yesterday. I mean, he puts them away 99 times out of 100. We've got away with one, and when you win a tournament, like you said about the defensive team, Sam, you've got to have a bit of luck as well. And I think we've definitely already we've shown we've had a little bit of luck, with some of that.
We've had so much luck. I mean, just that Sweden-Ukraine game. They were kicking the shit out of each other.
Literally kicking the shit out of each other. Went to extra time, injuries, red cards. It literally couldn't have gone any better for us.
The minute you said, Donny, on WhatsApp, I hope there's loads of injuries and extra time. It turned into the Somme within about 30 seconds.
It was crazy.
People laid all over the pitch.
They got the memo.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, that was crazy.
I just think... I would have preferred to have the later game, because I always think the later it is, the more emotionally involved I can get into it. When it's at 5 p.m, it's a weird time, but it definitely blew some of the cobwebs away, but not as much as the Colombia on penalties, for example.
Yeah.
So I think we're nearly there, but if we win it, I think that will really blow away the cobwebs of 96 and 92. I was 6 years old, so I can't remember that. So I'd been waiting that long to see Leeds United lift a trophy, and we're all in the same boat, basically with England. So I think, lads, I think it's coming home.
No, don't say it. You turn into Barney just because he's not here. You
Barney tribute, one man.
And you didn't say, listen, if there's a championship trophy not count, Donny, you've got to count them,
It's a real one.
We did win a trophy last season, mate.
Ali, win or lose, it's experience for the team ready for next year's World Cup.
Let's not do that. We always do that. Yeah.
Leeds lads, Levy in Germany having a lovely time. Get in there, Tony.
I bet.
LS14 as well, Seacroft lad. Good lad. Go on, Tony lad.
Right then, man of the match.
Oof. Go on, Waddy. You're always.
I'm going to say Sterling. I think the way he carried the ball sometimes was brilliant. The way he nipped in inside, and there was that one where Kane nearly scored, and I think he just ran in between about 5 of their players, took loads of people on. He wasn't scared. He's getting more confident, which is brilliant. And for the lad who's been put up with so much shit in the past from newspapers, so unfairly treated, it's been ridiculous. I mean, the Sun, not even worth talking about them, horrible bastards. But he's been put through so much by the media in the past, and you know what? Now everyone's not on his back, and it's brilliant to see. And he's getting more and more confident. 3 goals in 4 games. I mean, come on, absolutely brilliant. And I think, some of his driving runs yesterday really, really, really helped us. I think in the first half, he was arguably one of the best players on the pitch. They didn't know what to do with him because he was running, cutting in so much. And he's such a nippy little guy as well. It'd be an absolute nightmare to play against him. If you're a defender, you just don't know which way he's going to go, do you? He could be left, could be right, could be up, down, could be anywhere. Do you know what I mean? And I'm going to say Sterling because he's really starting to impress me now, and repaying the confidence that Southgate has shown him.
I can't argue with that, mate. He was cracking. I kept saying it was the one player that looked like he might open him up, and he's the one that you look to in here. Whatever people can say what they want about him, he's not had the best of seasons at Man City, but he was cracking, and that's been in a few games now. You've sort of seen he might be the one, and he's produced with the ultimate thing is if you're going to play that system we've talked about, you've got to have someone who's going to put the ball in the net when we get a chance, and he's been it. So I can't argue with that. But it would have been a very different opinion if Sterling had Muller have put that equaliser in. We've lost it. That's the thing about fans and the media. I mean, I don't even like to talk about the media because I don't entertain it. I don't buy papers. I don't read them. Never have read any of those. I'm not even going to mention the names. But it'd have been straight on his back again, and it'd have been this and that. I'm looking for some way to chastise him and get an horrible story about him in the paper again. But I think you can't not too wrong with that one, Sam. But I'm going to be really partisan and say Phillips because he's the only reason I really watch England.
Get out.
Every move, everything he does, I'm watching him. I'm sort of seeing how he's doing. Them tackles that turn the crowd and get the crowd going, where you win the ball but you leave a bit on the man. He did a couple yesterday. I'm just going to say Phillips because I'm really proud of him. I think he's been probably the most consistent. I thought the work rate was what outdid their midfield. Their midfield usually is far better than ours and works the ball better than ours and keeps the tempo of the game. And that's what Germany thrive on. And I thought he disrupted all of that. And Rice helped him, no doubt. But I thought Phillips was the key with the stats you've just shown on it. To the midfield, winning that battle against their midfield, which I thought, if Kroos is on it and he's performing, he's given time, he cuts you in half every time he gets the ball. Even though he has, probably seen his best days, kind of behind him now. So Phillips for me, that picture of him walking off through the tunnel with the 14 Phillips and all the crowd leaned over the edge clapping him. It still, as I mentioned it now, hairs on back of your neck. I mean,
proud.
You'd have asked me before Bielsa came, and I'll be candid now. I didn't think he was ever going to make it at Leeds because he was very young. Admittedly, he was still very young, but he just didn't see anything. He sort of looked at Vieira and thought, if you had to pick out of those two, you'd go Vieira every time. To go from that and being sort of like a young but a squad player, maybe not sure whether he was going to cut it or not, to be an England regular, keeping clean sheets, bossing it. Proud as punch for him and dead pleased for everybody that's been involved in his career, but taking the kind of uplift it's taken in the last few years. Bielsa, his family, the Leeds fans. I guess a lot of England fans are behind him now, having watched him and probably starting to appreciate what he does. Proud as punch. So I'm going to say my man KP, Pips, Phillips, all day long.
Nice.
Well, you've done it again, lads. You've taken my two.
You should always keep some in reserve, Donny.
I do. I've got one in reserve. I would say Kane, but I don't think he deserved it from the majority of the game. I do. I'm really happy that he got that goal because I think that will give him some confidence. But I'm going to say Jordan Pickford. He's
little T-Rex.
Another player that gets a lot of stick, probably justifiably so, because he does have this tendency to absolutely lose his head at club level. But he always performs for England. I remember, I think it was Colombia. Yeah. He did this immense save.
That save into the top left-hand corner, ridiculous save on it.
I mean, if you want to take a silhouette of a player like Michael Jordan or whatever, I'd take that. The Air Jordans. I'd market that on goalkeeping gloves. They've missed the trick there. Yeah, the Air Pickfords. Yeah, the Air Jordan. He kept us in it. That save, 1-on-1, brilliant. Yeah. Stood up for as long as he could, then spread his body. Just excellent goalkeeping. The other one, the one that I was more impressed with was, I think it was Havertz or whoever it was, one of the Germans. We can't say certain words when we live stream. Anyway, I think he was blindsided. I think he was a little bit blindsided because Maguire's massive head was just in front of him.
There was no light getting into the stadium.
Put the floodlights on, didn't
there? And it was just fucking armchair.
It was just that kind of instinctive reaction.
Yeah.
And such a strong hand. He's very short as well. I think Tony's just mentioning it. 1 meter 50. 39 centimeters shorter than me. It's crazy. Anyway, he was just kept us in it. And the very, very few times that Germany got past our incredible defensive midfielder and the defenders, I thought Stones and Maguire did quite well as well.
Stones class, yeah.
And Walker at times as well. Yeah. Recovered very well. I don't think he's great going forward, Walker, but I think he works really well in that sort of centre back role.
It's nice to have a bit of pace there as well, isn't it? In centre back.
Yeah. But Pickford, he kept us in it. If we concede either of those goals, the complexity of the game, the complexion of the game completely changes. Changes.
Yeah.
Why is he modelling his hair on Deirdre Barlow? Though I don't know. He's going for like you remember when she was married to the Turkish waiter? Was he called Rashid or something? Diddery, I love you, Diddery. He used to cut. the Samir years, Deirdre Barlow. He's definitely modelling his hair on that.
That's an old school reference.
He's those big Dennis Taylor glasses, I'm telling you, and he's
yeah, this looks a bit different from his Chavy World Cup, wasn't it?
Yeah, definitely. He's good. Donny's good. Let me look. See, this one here. This one.
Oh, that is an absolute ripper.
Yeah, the Didgeridoo Barlow. See that one with the Guardian there, Johnny? Pull that one up, mate.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
He is just missing them glasses, isn't he?
He's definitely modelling himself on David Bella. And I've got to mention something else completely left field of football. What the fuck has Luke Shaw been eating?
He's a thick man.
Not fat. I mean, I know Marino. He's chunky, isn't he? He's got the build he's got the build of a scaffolder in that football.
Yeah,
he's got Mourinho's face on a punching bag.
He definitely worked it. He's chunky, man.
It's not as if it slowed him down either, though. He's still absolutely rapid and runs all game. He just seems to have jacked up a bit, doesn't he? Fair play.
Yeah, good on him.
Yeah, fair play. Working hard.
Good footballer. Can cross the ball. You know what I mean? If he gets time and that cross for for Sterling was great, wasn't it?
Yeah. Well,
we really missed that. I thought Trippier's you're right there. What?
Yeah. Phone just dropped.
Okay. New phone.
See the as he thought the screen was about to smash up. Flo was like, "Oh shit!"
I thought Trippier. I thought he did quite well in that first game, especially the set pieces, and we really missed that in the Scotland game. I think it was. And then he came back into it. Fantastic. We really need him on set pieces, but when he was playing on the left, it was so obvious what he was going to do. He was going to cut inside every single time, and that was going to happen all day. Whereas with a 3-4-3 and Shaw sort of playing off, especially Grealish, but Sterling earlier, I thought that gave us so many more options down the left. I thought we were brilliant down the left.
Balance. I mean, it's obvious if you play with people who are left foot on the left side, even on the centre halves or midfield, makes for a completely more balanced team. It's just obvious. I mean, look at Bielsa's an advocate in it. Keep it simple. He's got left-footed defenders on the left-hand side, left-footed full-back. The number of times where we try to put a decent right-back at left full-back or a good left full-back at right, just don't work. It never works. I mean, we're not going to get into the Graham Taylor years of fucking putting Batty at right-back, but even just moving people around.
Oh, really? Come on.
No, that's a good point that you say, because when the fullback is on his good side, so left-footed fullback on the left side, and then you've got an inverted winger, so a right footer on the left wing. Yeah, it gives you so many more options.
Options everywhere, all over the pitch. I mean, you can do it more in attacking positions because you're expecting them to be unpredictable. But I think when you're talking about flanks, ultimately they're called flanks and wing because that's where you play. So you need to be able to play on your left foot and your right foot on the right hand side. I mean, it just made such a difference. And I think, you know what I like? There's a bit of hardness in there now. You know, sometimes you've looked at some England teams, particularly that golden generation, you thought they're a bit soft. There's a soft underbelly there.
Yeah.
Whereas now you think like Shaw's quite tough, isn't it? Pickford's mental, isn't he? He's not playing with a full deck, Pickford. You know. Maguire's
Maguire's an absolute meter, isn't he?
Yeah, he's got toughness about him.
Yeah.
You look at Phillips.
You wouldn't want to mess with him on a cold Friday night or warm Friday night on a Greek island.
Yeah.
No, you wouldn't. See what you did there?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, there's definitely a bit of toughness, bit of nastiness about it, you know, and I like that because when you do need to put your foot in and you do need to show a bit of metal, there's a few of them can dish it out in there. You know, it's not just one player that's going to ultimately get sent off like Gerrard or who is tough, who's going to end up having to do all that battling and sort of nasty bit. There's a few of them can sort of swap it around a bit, really. You know, Kane's got a little bit in him, hasn't he, where he'll leave a bit on people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm not, it's the dark arts of football again. I always seem to gravitate to that.
You do, don't you?
No, but it's like at Ellen Road when you get, when it's a bit insipid and somebody gets a really great tackle in. It lifts everybody, doesn't it? It lifts the team because it's as good as a goal sometimes to watch.
There's dark arts and there's stupidity. Like, Saeed's spitting, that's complete nonsense. Like, that's dirty and stupid.
You have to be clever with it,
you have to be really clever with it, and it's always to give your team an advantage. A few comments here, then. Colin, Adonis, are you allowed to go to Italy from Vienna? Yes.
Hey,
we've got people trying to get tickets as we speak. Not sure it's going to happen, but I think they're all sold out. Unfortunately, I don't think you can transfer because I don't think you can transfer the tickets. Meet me outside the Coliseum. Face value.
Steps of the Coliseum.
Can you get your cat scarf or a badge? Buying and selling, buying or selling. Have you got any tickets?
Hat scarves, your badges. Oh, brilliant.
Half and half scarves, 1 for 5.
Wow.
Few more comments. LS14 Tony. Kane looked lively yesterday, but Calvin was magic.
He's magic,
Yeah, I heard that. Does anyone else end up watching Calvin rather than the ball?
Said it all day. Yeah.
It's easy to pick out with the hair as well, isn't he? Look for the hair.
Guys are back. We are, yes.
Yes, we are.
Another one you can tell by the hair. Grealish. I should hate Grealish, but I loved him, as did the rest of England yesterday.
Yeah.
And apparently I have to email the British consulate in Italy for tickets.
Wow, sounds official.
Jesus.
Just turn up.
Really?
Just rock up, you'll be fine. You'll get one.
Hey! Come on.
I bet you any money, if you go there, there'll be a kid called Maverick from Leeds. I played football with him for years, right? He's a mank, but he's lived in Leeds all his life, Man City fan. I bet you any money, if you turn up in Rome, Mav will be outside selling tickets, because everywhere I've ever been, I see him selling tickets. He's like infamous tout in Leeds, and everywhere we go, he's outside selling tickets. So yeah, he'll be there. You'll just tell him me. I played football with him for years. It's Maverick, he'll sort you out.
I don't think they're transferable though, so I guess he must be selling fake identity as well.
You got to wear a wig.
Anything you want, Maverick will have it, believe me.
Blonde wig.
Blonde, got to dress up. You got to get into character, mate.
Okay. The consulate was saying that they hope they could get expats some tickets. We'll have to look into that. Maybe I can live stream from my phone inside the live stream watch along from the stands.
Yeah, that'd be sick.
I can't imagine they got good Wi-Fi there.
No, probably not.
That'll be a good watch.
Yeah, be like me last time I tried to come on.
I'm going to say Sam Ward's last appearance on the
live from Mars.
Yeah,
looks great now. That's a new laptop, isn't it?
That is a new laptop. That's what's done it. Yeah.
What, have you had to remortgage the house?
Yeah, that's it. But it's worth it for you guys. See your lovely faces again.
Oh man, bless you.
Yeah, it's been brilliant.
Been emotional.
Couple more, just one more stat then. Let's have a look at this one, because I think this is just says it all, really, doesn't it? Most passes into the final third. There you go.
Bloody hell.
Calvin Phillips.
There you go. Yeah. He only passes sideways and backwards, apparently.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. That's the major criticism aimed at him, isn't it? That he's not.
It's a load of rubbish, isn't it? It's just lazy punditry, because he's a defensive mid. They're like, oh well, he must just keep going backwards. Then just watch him for 5 minutes.
And the other thing I didn't get was like people slagging off Leeds and Phillips and even like Birmingham fans going on about Grealish or whatever. It's like, we just beat Germany.
Yeah. Oh, come on. Come on, we just beat Germany. Come on.
Like, can't you just be happy for like 5 minutes without getting into all this like salty banter?
Well, you know what I do? I've got like a big kitchen downstairs which spills out into the garden, and So my dad and we were watching it and having some food and watching the game. I was really ecstatic when we won. And I walked out the back door and we've got like a lane. It's like a shared lane for all the houses at the back. And you kind of cross it to get into my decking and my garden and all that arrangement. And I walked out, I saw my neighbour, I get on really well. He lives about 5, 6, whatever doors down, and his wife were outside. And I didn't even clock there was some other people with him. So I just walked out and went, hey! And Andy was like, oh, they weren't really what's wrong with him? I didn't realise the people they were looking around their house.
Oh, don't worry, this madman doesn't live anywhere near.
No, he's from the special home. He's from the home down the way. We pretend that he lives here. He's like he's mental ill. Just leave him alone. But yeah, what's that been right? Really Larry, and he was like, just tell her like, what's wrong with them two? Came over later. He's like, oh yeah, they just came to have a little look around the house. I'm like, sorry, mate.
That's 10 grand knocked off the price now.
Yeah. Just done 20 grand off your house price.
Yeah.
He's like, hey.
Yeah, great. Yeah. It's really quiet around here. You know, there's no yobber. It's really lovely. It's a really
it's fucking coming out.
Oh yeah.
Really quiet neighbourhood.
Yeah. Really sweet people. Neighbours are dope.
Pin drop, even when England played. You know, yeah. So put right in it again. I love it though. I like being an idiot.
Right, yeah. Final thoughts then. We beating Ukraine?
Oof, tough game.
Yeah.
I think it's tough.
I think we can. They do have a few good players, but I mean, head to head, come on, we've got to beat them, haven't we?
We're not fearing these, are we? We're not fearing them. I mean, we get them in a qualifier or a friendly.
Yeah, we don't even think about it, do we? And to be fair, they were one of the teams that got the lucky third place out the group jobby. So, I mean, they've done well. You can't deny that. But I feel like if Sweden hadn't got that man sent off last night, I think Sweden looked like they were going to win it. But no, look, they've got some good players, but they won't be fear. They won't fear them at all, will they? These are young lads who've got a lot of confidence at the moment, and the whole country behind them. So we won't go there fearing them, I don't think. But I think we could win. What say you two?
I think we've got to win. I mean, it's like anything, isn't it? You look at what's left and you think we've probably got the draw side of the draw. We've got the easiest route we could have got to the final. Yeah. Beating Germany leaves us. It's not a shoe-in. I think that's an arrogance to go, oh yeah, we'll beat them. We've got to the final. But it's a great opportunity. I think Ukraine will come and play football. I think they'll play quick. They're technically good, aren't they? Can we stifle them like we've done other teams that are a bit more methodical? Yeah, absolutely. You know, have they got as good a players as Croatia, Czech Republic, right across the pitch? Germany, probably not. Sometimes it's just your day, innit? It's just whether we turn up on the day. If we do, I think we win comfortably. I'd much rather play them than Sweden, because I think Sweden would have been like us. Give nothing away, try and nick somewhere. Wouldn't have given many chances away, so I'd much rather play them. But we've got every chance of beating them, and if we do, again, we've got another decent game. None of them are easy, but we've got a decent draw. And then, who knows, in a final.
It's 90 minutes.
You'd be delighted, and I'm looking a bit too far ahead now, but you'd be delighted to know. You know, I'm really great with prioritising football matches, particularly England, and not booking other things in. Well, the Scotland game, you know, I was out for a meal with the family. Yeah, great, well done, missed that. I'm booked out.
You didn't miss much.
Didn't miss much,
well, you know, I thought I'd probably done that's a blinder, that Huey, but guess where I'm on Saturday night? I'm booked into a restaurant with family on Saturday night, so we're out on Saturday night.
What time?
Well, 8 o'clock. So
God. Any other time.
There's been no thought gone into this, like I'll book it at 6:30 and you know, we'll be in and out and we'll go watch it. No, I've absolutely blown it. And guess what? I'm away in Liverpool for the final. So if we do get to the final, I'm away with my missus, you know, in Liverpool. So I'll be watching it with her somewhere tucked away in a little bar in Liverpool somewhere. So yeah, if you ever wanted to plan an England sort of experience of watching games together, please don't ask me, because I'm awful. Sorry, Donny, you give us your thoughts on Ukraine, because I'm intrigued to know what you're going to say about this.
Incredible scheduling there.
Yeah, I know, it's unbelievable.
Terrible.
I think it'll be much harder than people are maybe thinking. I think we definitely should beat them. I think we should beat them 3 or 4-0 or something. but it often doesn't work out like you expect it to. And I think a lot of teams got their comeuppance, especially if you look at someone like France.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, so
Portugal even.
You've got to be vigilant, especially as a player or in that group. You'd have to be taking it extremely seriously. But as a fan, you go into a game like Germany, and you don't. I didn't expect us to win. If anything, I expected us to lose, probably on penalties, and have another heartache. And it was therapeutic, wasn't it? It was cathartic. Yeah. On the other hand, Ukraine, total different mentality in it. You go into there thinking we have to win it. We have to win. If we lose against Ukraine, it'll be Iceland all over again.
Yeah, exactly.
Except with less funny memes.
Yeah, and that German game as well will sort of, you just forget about that fairly quickly, wouldn't you? If we lose, wouldn't we?
But that's the point. Don't get carried away with that win last night.
Yeah.
It's got us through a first knockout phase. You've got to go.
Yeah,
it's the first step. You've got so much more to do yet. And if Denmark want to win it for Ericsson, don't they? They're going to be. Yeah. Don't kid yourself. They're not going to be bang up for it.
No.
And they're a good football team, and they play great football, and they want it, and they can score goals. Ukraine. I watched them the other night. I think Sweden are pretty mediocre, but they always kind of are. But they seem to draw results out. But I thought the way Ukraine played at times, really quick, good on the ball, sort of good heart, didn't really give up. They're going to be tough. Everything's going to be tough. And you think about how close we've got and how we can smell that sort of semi in a final already. Imagine what they'll be thinking. It might be the once in a generation they get to a semi or a final, and they'll be bang up for it. It's going to be really tough. But we haven't conceded a goal yet. That's the beautiful thing about having a defence is if you think foundation at the back where it's going to be hard for people to break it down and score. My worry is if we concede first in any game, when we've tried to actually play quite expansive and go for it a bit and let the handbrake off, I think we look really vulnerable. So I won't want us to be necessarily chasing the game. And I think when you don't play that way, you don't play 1 touch, 2 touch, quick movement, quick passing, loads of options on the ball, that 3 and 4 runs off the ball, giving people options. It's really hard to switch that on. So, let's hope we can keep that clean sheet record going, and we and just keep going all the way to the final.
Yeah, I'd agree. I think the thing is that very much like Leeds, these teams won't give up.
No.
You saw Switzerland 3-1 down with 9 minutes to go. And the reason why they came back is because they threw caution to the wind. And it's like you said, Ewan, could be 30, 40 years before Ukraine get to another quarterfinal. So they'll have everything on the line. I think it could be tough. It really could be. But on the other hand, it should be easy. And then you're looking ahead, Denmark, as you've said, and then maybe Italy or Belgium for the final, and then anything could happen. So I think most people are saying we'll never have a better chance, and I feel that too. Some final comments then. I'm going to be in Holland for the finals. Tony?
Schmuck the
oh no, Ewan. This is referring to Ewan's scheduling. Ewan. I don't know what to call that face, but it's definitely appropriate, isn't it?
It's like
you and you're a dog. Listen, Tony, I'm a Seacroft lad. We've got to stick together as Seacroft lads. I've blown
Colin?
it. I've made all the arrangements badly, but I'm still, at heart, I'm a good lad. Honest.
I think we might not concede at all.
Oof, I like that.
And Calvin can do that for us. Yep. Amaralaj, I've totally messed your name up. I'm so sorry. KP plays for Leeds like Yorkshire Perlo, and for England he plays like Gattuso. He's the 2-in-1.
Oh,
the British Gattuso, or the Geisley. He's not from Geisley. Switzerland in the final. There we go.
Hey, there's been madder things. There's been madder things happen, haven't there?
True.
It's whether, like we said before, it's all about luck, really, isn't it? These teams can get one bit of luck in the 90 minutes. You don't know.
Well, if you've got this far, you probably like us, so please hit the like button on the video. That'd be great. And subscribe if you'd like to as well. Why not?
Do it.
You should. You owe it to yourself. Subscribe, people.
Yeah.
But what you've given us the most valuable thing that you have, which is your time, and we really appreciate it. So thank you very much for watching. My name's Adonis. You know me as @theadelites on Twitter. It's a very good bye from me. Joining us today was Machiavelli, the son of darkness and trickery. At you and Metcalf.
You know it. I'm back, baby. Good night, England. Come on, England.
The Warden of the North, Sam Ward, LUFC.
Good night. Enjoy your weekend, everyone.